It's a thing to be, thing to be.
I'm about to tell you some top secret information, so I gotta hide my face for the protection of myself. I'm just fucking around, man. I'm just fucking around, man. As always, I'm just gonna share some opinions and give y'all some information, so get ready. Keyword plasma.
This virus impacts the most are those individuals who are the most vulnerable medically. This happens to be disproportionately minorities and those who have limited access to health care.
Plasma. What is plasma? Plasma is in your blood. And people with melanin, dark-skinned people, brown people, black people, melanin, carry the higher percentage of plasma. Keyword plasma.
It doesn't come as a surprise that this is happening because we have data from China that indicated that individuals with underlying conditions, heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, asthma, they're going to be more prone to severe disease and death.
It doesn't come as a surprise, right, that poor, dark-skinned people is dying now all of a sudden at a higher rate. We can all think what we want to think. I'm not saying the virus is not true. Yeah, the virus is true. What I am saying is, though, that there's many different ways to analyze this virus and kind of pay a little more attention that it's not so much the virus, it's what they're doing with this virus. They're using it as a weapon. Think what you will, as I said. I'm not here to criticize or judge. I'm just here to talk, and hopefully we could wrap our minds together and come up with something. Until then, I just sit here, I come across some information, I share it with y'all. Sometimes, I share it with y'all in the seriousness, sometimes I share it with y'all just talking. Today I just feel like talking because it's just so damn serious right now.
And it's been true in the United States for a long time that minority communities have a heavier burden of all of those things. And the other thing, as was mentioned by the young physician you just had on, minority communities are not able to social distance and do some other things that are required to keep the virus out of those communities.
Now that we've been educated on brown and blacks, because they're saying minorities, they're not saying black, they're saying minorities, which would be black and brown. I know our black brothers and sisters really get caught up on running their numbers, but you know what? They got the platforms to do that, and they push their narrative. Now, we ain't really got that for ourselves, but hey, it's a start, right?
Most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family level. In some senses, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units.
How could it be a weapon, right? How? Well,
now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
It was nothing but Europeans and Asians dying on the other continent. You know what I mean? Where it's not even going in Africa. But they want to go test in Africa now. They want to go do trial vaccines in Africa. Okay. But like I said, it was hitting light-skinned peoples with less melanin on that side of the continent. And all of a sudden, it crosses the ocean. And now, the highest percentage of people that it's affecting are colored people. So you got to put two and two together. Keyword, plasma. Melanin. So, let's play that back. So, the white dude on March 30th plants the seed about what we recommend on doing a task force, going into people's homes to remove people from their homes because of Corona.
Most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family level. In some senses, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units. Now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
And then the black brother comes out and says,
minority communities are not able to social distance and do some other things that are required to keep the virus out of those communities.
it is harder for minorities, poor people, to be able to do social distancing. He plants the seed. Since minorities are poor and we live bunched up together, that we can't practice social distancing, so we're more at risk of getting coronavirus. Then, a few weeks before that, we got the white brother saying,
now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
we might have to create a task force to go into people's homes to remove family members who have corona. I mean, I'm just talking.
The lower you go on the economic ladder in New York City, the more crowded the housing is, the more crowded everything is about life. There seems to be an economic component that's interacting with this.
Since minorities are poor and we live bunched up together, that we can't practice social distancing, so we're more at risk of getting coronavirus.
The economic challenge is the fact that these individuals have to go to work. They have no choice but to go to work. And some of those working conditions are not conducive to social distancing and protecting oneself against the virus.
So now that we've been educated on why we are at risk, let's focus on what they're telling the doctors to say and put down on paper.
Can you repeat what you just said, please?
Well, last Friday, I received a 7-page document that sort of told me that if I had an 86-year-old patient that had pneumonia but was never tested for COVID-19, but sometime after she came down with pneumonia, we learned that she had been exposed to her son who had no symptoms, but later on was identified with COVID-19, that it would be appropriate to diagnose on the death certificate COVID-19.
Did you hear what the doctor said, man? Just go on ahead and put whatever you need to put there and turn it in. Keyword: plasma. Melanin.
I'm saying they didn't swab me or test me or nothing to look what the fuck paper say. Reason for visit: fever. Diagnosis: COVID-19. They didn't test me for this shit. He told me I had it, bro. He didn't test me for it. He told me I fucking had it, bro. He told me I fucking had it, bro. Come on now. Come on now. Look at what my temperature was. I ain't even had no temperature when I went in that bitch. Come on now. But because I told him I can't taste and smell, he know I got it. Oh, well, that's the number one symptom that's been going around lately is not the smell or taste. So I'm not gonna say, we're just gonna say you have it and quarantine you for 2 weeks.
Well, sister right there, she ain't got nothing to do with the doctor. I just found it interesting that they labeled her that coronavirus. Keyword: plasma. Melanin.
My heart is sinking right now as you're telling me this. You're a doctor. Why in the world would they be sending you out information to fill out death certificates, whether the person's been diagnosed with COVID-19 or not, but then to say in the death certificate this person's death was caused by COVID-19? That does not sound right to me.
That's exactly what he said, bro. We're just gonna say you have it. We're just gonna tell you have it. So they diagnosed me with coronavirus.
And why would they want to skew the number of deaths due to COVID-19?
Well, fear is a great way to control people.
Now, I want to touch on the prisons again, because I touched on the prisons previously.
What do you think is going to happen to our peoples that are being held captive in these detention centers? It's pretty much a free pass to murder migrants.
And what they're going to be doing to our peoples in those detention centers. Because keyword: plasma. Melanin.
This virus loves close quarters. And sadly, this facility is nothing but.
Exactly. This is a jail. People live in bunks. They live on top of each other. They share cells.
I don't know what to do, bro. Like, look at this motherfucker breathing all hard and shit. This shit fucking crazy. Like, the motherfuckers who ain't sick, you know, like me, they just leaving us in this bitch. There's a big tent y'all see on the basketball court, that tent right there. They literally putting the dead bodies in that motherfucker. That's what they doing. If you at risk of fucking catching this shit and dying, like 3 people I know already caught this shit and died, they can send you home on home confinement, right? So I went to talk to these motherfuckers to get on home confinement. They not gonna let us on home confinement. Why?
Why? Key word. Plasma. Melanin.
In Trump's America, citizens will always be first. So in Trump's America, the coronavirus towards our people who are being held captive in these detention centers are pretty much on a death list. You gotta put 2 and 2 sometimes.
I hope you guys take some time to go back and review this. Please feel to drop comments. Please feel that you can reach out and speak. Let's learn from one another. I ain't closed-minded, you know, like, I just believe that conversations need to begin and we can start educating ourselves and whatever we all believe in, all the people. I heard that today, all the people. A native brother that's running for president. He says, we the people never existed. At the end of the day, anything that's done to us, at this point, really, it's our fault. Because they basically, there's no secret in what they're doing or what they do or what their intentions are. The detention centers, the kids in the camps, using our brothers and sisters in Africa for test runs on vaccines. China's exiling black people from their country right now as I speak. Getting kicked out of their homes and hotels, sleeping on the streets. What's going on in Central America? What's going on here? People ain't gonna be able to pay their rent. There's gonna be a lot of empty homes, you know, and it's gonna be a lot of our people. But these are conversations that I feel we should feel free to talk about and express and learn and grow from. I think we should begin creating our own platforms where we can hold these conversations of different views and opinions and all of it. Brown is brown, and let's just put our minds together and fuck all the stupid petty shit of judgmentals and criticisms and just begin to learn and grow and evolve. We beautiful peoples, man. We poets, we singers, we rappers, we hip-hoppers, we hustlers, we educators, we cookers, we chefs, we designers, we painters. We so many beautiful things. Beautiful brown skin. Keyword. Plasma. Melanin. All the people.
For the future of all our precious little babies. The time has come to answer prophecy. And the name of Nipsey Hussle keep building the dream. The time has come to set all our kids free.